Hey Central Virginia, are you wondering what's going on in our local housing market? We'll cover that today in your April 2024 Housing Market Update. What is going on in this video today? We're going to be diving into what's going on in our local housing market with a focus today on housing inventory as well as mortgage rates. Let's jump into it. So when it comes to housing inventory levels, I've got good news for you and I've got bad news for you. I'll give you the good news first. So for good news, in national news, year to date, housing inventory is higher than it's been since 2021. Inventory is actually up in 45 of the 50 largest metros that we track. The only problem is that housing inventory is well below where we were in 2017 through 2020, and we are certainly still well below to match the current demand in the housing market. In this graphic, you can see in our local metro market, you will see the new listings over the last 5 years in a rolling 12 months. And this graphic pretty much tells the whole story of where we are currently in our housing market with new listings. With this limited inventory and demand still being high enough, we are certainly seeing where days on market is incredibly low and staying low, and the median housing price, the median home price rather, continues to climb. Next, let's talk about mortgage rates. As of March 20th, the Federal Reserve has decided to maintain the federal funds rate between 5.25 and 5.5, essentially holding off on any promised or hinted at cuts. Now, they still maintain that we're going to be seeing 3 federal fund rate cuts by the end of the year, but we are not seeing any drops in mortgage rates just yet. And certainly, if and when rates come down, we are expected to see a large increase in demand and a large increase in activity in the housing market. That's with buyers jumping into the market, as well as a lot of sellers jumping into the market that are currently sitting on 3% plus or minus interest rates and are reluctant to trade that in for 7% mortgage rates. But what we predict is that when we see those mortgage rates come down, we're going to see more and more sellers that are wanting to move, jump off the fence when it's a little easier to trade up to a higher mortgage rate in, say, the 5s or the 6s. We certainly have a lot of pent-up demand right now and a lot of pent-up supply as well. And regarding mortgage rate predictions, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors are all predicting that we will be in the low 6% by Q4 of this year. And personal prediction, if and when we see a drop in rates, this is going to cause an acceleration in price appreciation, meaning not only will prices go up, but they're going to go up higher and at a faster rate when we see rates come down. So what does this all mean for you? So I'll give you 3 tips for both buyers and sellers, as we do always. For my sellers, green light means go. We are seeing an ideal time to sell a home where demand is high, inventory is very, very low, and sellers are still getting record prices. So if you're somebody that's considering a sale, realize that the conditions are perfect for you right now. For anyone thinking about selling this year, I'm going to encourage you to try to get on the market before June of this year. So what we see historically in our market is the market not dies off, but does slow down a little bit in the month of June as the kids get out of school, people get into summer, and they start getting into their summer plans and really get distracted from their home buying goals if they haven't found a home by June. If you're looking to sell, if you're looking to time the market, I want to encourage you to try to get on the market by June. And last but not least, consider holding your current property. So we're having a lot of conversations with current homeowners that are trading up, trading down, and they want to move, but they're reluctant because they're holding on to this 3% interest rate, and they say, hey, this thing is too valuable to let go. And sometimes I would often agree with you. So one solution is just holding on to your current property, renting it out, turning it into an income property, holding on to that cheap long-term debt, and then just going and buying your next property if you can financially afford to do so. For my buyers, get in front of price appreciation. So if you can afford to buy a home right now and you are going to be buying a home at some point, I would encourage you to get in front of the price appreciation that we are expected to see if and when interest rates drop. If you can afford to buy the home right now, go ahead, buy the home, wait for the rates to drop, refinance at some point in the future, but jump in front of the price appreciation that we are expected to see in this market. Also, for my buyers, realize you are not the only one buying. So we've talked with a lot of buyers, prospective buyers, that think because interest rates are up right now, that housing demand is down, that they're going to be the only ones out there buying homes. And the reality is inventory is so tight right now, demand is so high that even with the higher mortgage rates, we're still seeing it be a very competitive market for buyers right now. So I want you to go into this with your eyes wide open, knowing what you're getting yourself into and knowing what you need to do to actually win a home bid in today's market. And then last but not least, give them what they want, or at least ask what they want. So I see so many buyers, so many agents that don't pick up the phone and call and ask what a seller sellers looking for what does an ideal offer look like to a seller. And I'll give you a little secret, it's not always the highest price. A lot of times sellers are looking for specific terms. Maybe they want limitations on the home inspection. Maybe they want a guarantee on the appraisal. Maybe they're looking for a quick, easy transaction. Maybe they want to stay in the property for a certain amount of time. All these things, none of these things you're going to know unless you pick up the phone and call and ask. So really this is the responsibility of the agent that you're working with, but make sure that they are calling the seller or calling the listing agent and finding out what's important to that seller, because it's not always more money. So there you guys have it. That was your April 2024 housing market update. If there were any questions, concerns, thoughts, fears that we didn't address in this video, go ahead and throw it in the comments or shoot me a DM. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next month.